Hey everyone, welcome back to our Sunny Farms. My name is Grayson, and today we are going to be getting out into the bee yard, and I'm going to show you guys my hive. And this video is going to be having some informational things in it that may help you out in your beekeeping journey. And we also just do a casual update of our hive. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go on and get into the video. Today we are going to be getting into this hive, which is one of my best hives. And look at that, they're drawing a little bit calm right there. And today I kind of want to share some things that we need to be doing as beekeepers in spring. So, at the same time, I also just want to show you guys kind of what the bees are doing right now, what we need to be doing, and maybe a little update as well. A lot of you guys are probably wondering what's going on with this hive. Now, I just want this to be kind of a fun video, entertaining video, and a informational video. So I'm going to be getting some pointers in this video that maybe will help you this spring. There are a lot of things that we do need to be looking out for. And number one, a lot of beekeepers will see, and this does go into a look at that. That is what sometimes we'll call burr comb, excess comb that bees will draw in bee space, which is, I'll put it up on the screen, I can't remember everything at the same time. But bee space basically is the space between the bees and the frames or covers, and if it goes any bigger than that, you know, if it's more of a length, I'd say, or width actually, they start drawing that comb. That's why you see it here. You see there's a little hole right there, and that. So, and this is bigger than bee space. So, just keep that in consideration. If you take a frame out of the middle, you're probably going to come in and it's going to be a big mess, basically. And look at that bee, it's doing a little waggle dance. I captured that later on, and it's pretty interesting. And this hive seems like it's doing pretty good. Look at that, guys. Now, as you can see hive beetles walking around. You can see the bees tend not really giving much of a care to them. Probably do need to put a beetle blaster in here. That's probably something we probably need to do. When you have this comb here, what I usually do, and what I would not throw your comb on the ground. Now, sometimes I think any beekeeper, even if you say that, sometimes he'll do it. Sometimes he can forget. But the best thing I sometimes will do, never throw it away either. I mean, of course that's not a rule. You don't have to. But if you're a beekeeper and you have this comb there, you could instead use it for something different. You could use it for put it for candles. Of course, you can't use this just for candles, but you can. This is something that is usable if you just want to save it, and if you keep building that up, you can make candles and reuse it. What I did was I put it on top of my hive, so I'm going to remember to get that. Now, I've talked a lot about frame manipulations and stuff, so I always pull the frame closest to the box. And this frame right here doesn't have all the bees on it, but I still don't like to pull that frame. But as a note, if you only have 5 frames in here, you can pull up the second frame of your beehive. Since this is a 10 frame box, I haven't been in here for about a week or two, so they may have came all the way over here. Last time I checked, they were some bees on here. Of course, there's gonna be bees on all the frames, just kind of walking around, seeing what they can do. See, there's a bee over here, all the way over here too. But the thing is, most times, now not always, but most times, this frame right here, most likely will not have the queen. Less likely to have the queen on it. I've talked about that. Now this frame right here is just kind of some nectar. So that's all it is here. No eggs, no larvae, just some nectar that they're filling in. Probably from my feed that I'm feeding them. Now, I'll set that frame aside. And one thing that we need to be doing now, since it is spring, I'm looking at the flowers, I'm looking at everything, I'm looking at how the bees are doing. I'm seeing there are flowers blooming. I see a lot more green right now than I did in winter. In winter, it was just gloomy, but now, when I came out here, the sun was shining in a different way that told me spring is here. It's been here for the past couple of weeks. Of course, we did get a cold snap right before Easter, like I knew we probably would. But after that, I think we are done with cold weather. hopefully. Now, I'm not going to say anything too soon, but it is April 4th. Today. I believe that's what today is. Actually, today, I think I got my days mixed up. Actually, today is April 3rd. So Wednesday, basically. So this video will most likely come out tomorrow. So you guys will be able to watch it. So you see that frame? Nice looking frame. Bees are walking on it, and we have some nectar in there. So like I said earlier, this frame right here, the two frames to the edge most likely won't have the queen on it. But we still do need to take into consideration that the queen could be on one of these frames. You never know. Sometimes the queen likes to come over here. Maybe there's some more open spaces. This right here, two frames on the edge like I was talking about, most likely probably only have nectar. That's where the bees store all their nectar. But, like I said, taking into consideration that you do need to move in slow motion, be careful, make sure you don't kill your queen. Now, when you're inspecting a hive, there's no way you can prevent accidentally killing a bee or something. Or if you're doing a cutout, sometimes it's just hard not doing it. You know why? Because bees are everywhere. There's a lot of times where you open these spaces, they crawl in them. So I think we should be very, very careful when we're, putting frames. That's why smoke is a good option to do. That's one of the best ways to prevent killing bees. And what I mean is you can just kind of smoke in those little spaces and the bees should move out of the way. That's the best way to do it. Now look at this. This is drone combing. They have fixed it up because it was like in a very bad shape. But they have fixed that up and it's looking good. Now I wonder if they have any drone eggs. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see if there's any drones. Because I know they started laying some drones in the regular frame. I don't see any drone eggs. So that's what you do. What you can do is you can just lightly tap on the bees and get them to move. Now I don't see any eggs or larvae. All I see is some nectar. Queen probably hasn't made her way over here yet. And I don't see the queen on here either. So I don't see any eggs because the sun is shining. No eggs there. You probably can't see any either. Either way, even if there was eggs, you probably couldn't see it. Since the camera ain't really good at showing eggs. Unless if it's really close and no bees on it, then you probably could see it a little bit. But it'd be really, really blurry. Another thing is we do gotta ensure the health of our queen. Make sure she's doing okay. Talked about that before. That's very important in spring. And really, this is important. Ensuring the health of your queen is important in all the aspects of the year. In winter, can't really. That's why whenever we have fall, that's our time to ensure the health of our queen. We need to make sure our queen is healthy all times of the year. But spring is one of the most important times because we have the ability, if the queen in a hive is not doing well, she's not performing to what she needs to be doing to keep up with the hive, maybe she's fallen off a little bit, you have that option to replace her, maybe buy a queen from somebody else in your local area or some kind of online store like Man Lake or something. Some type of store probably has it. This frame right here is really heavy. It feels like it has some nectar and brood, which is on my side. I think it's a full frame of brood. Look there, that's a lovely frame, a good little frame of brood there. I do see some eggs, so the queen has came here and laid. So let me show you guys this. Look at this side. This side has the larvae that we want, the eggs. I mean, this queen's doing a really good job. Look at that on the bottom. Talked about that before. That is not a queen cell. That is just some drone cells. Very interesting to see. Last time I was in here, on this frame there was no eggs. All these frames, this frame, that frame, no eggs. Just some older larvae. No 30-day-old larvae or eggs. Any eggs. And a lot of beekeepers will start worrying that their queen is bad, or oh no, my queen is not here. But I do think before you do jump to any conclusions, you need to check the whole hive first before you make any conclusions. You know why? Because I kept on going to this frame or that frame. One of these on your end from when you're watching. That frame had eggs in it, so that meant, from what I saw, and what it really is, guys, is that just means the queen was over here. She hasn't made her way coming over here. So we see she just made her way over here. She's been working hard over here. So that's a big reason why it is. And sometimes beekeepers will get kind of into, when they are looking into the colony and thinking that there's a bad brood pattern, and they see a lot of pollen. If you see a lot of pollen in there, pollen in between the cells, that just means they're backfilling a lot of those cells with pollen, or that pollen was there to begin with, and the queen can't lay any eggs in the pollen cells, right? That's not good. So don't fret if that happens. If you see if you see what I saw, just keep looking. And if you see no eggs and no queen, that may mean that your queen is not there. Just keep inspecting. Now I gotta put up my hive tool. Hover this frame over here. Now I'm looking on this side, and there is eggs. I do see eggs in here. On that side, that's a lot of eggs over here. Get some good larvae. And look at there, we have some good eggs over here too. Queen's making her way. Now this queen is a little older, so I may end up go on and replace her. Now I like these genetics, so what I'll probably do, guys, you guys can let me know in the comments what you think I should do if I should replace this. This is a 2-year-old queen. She seems to be doing a really good job, but the thing is, the future of the colony is in that queen's hands. So most queens only survive for about, or not survive, I mean, are only good for about 2 to even 1 year. Just depends. This queen has been good for the past couple of years, but I want to continue on with these genetics. I really like this genetic pool right here. So what I think I'll do is, if I see something in the future, because right now the queen looks fine to me, but what I'm thinking I'll probably do, and I've been thinking about this for the past couple months, since this queen is kind of getting a little older. I know at some point there's going to be a problem with her and she's going to need to be replaced. I need to keep an eye on it. So I'll keep an eye on it. I'm not doing anything today. I don't have the intentions to do that. But we will keep a watch on this queen to make sure she stays healthy. And then maybe later on this year, maybe I'll try to do some queen rearing and introduce a new queen to this colony. We'll try that. Maybe we'll do that, since I'm going to be getting some 6 nukes. But it just depends on how everything goes. So I'm not going to make any promises, so just don't take me on my word for everything I say. But just, it's just some things I'm thinking about that I could do. Maybe I can do it. Maybe, because, a lot of times, if I make a plan, a lot of times that plan doesn't go the way I want. Then I end up on plan B. Then that one won't work. Then I end up on plan C. Then after that, finally one of them worked. Maybe I'll end up on plan D. Then it finally works. Plan C or D. Then that's what works. Just always be flexible. Be a flexible beekeeper. Because not everything's going to go the way you want it to. Sometimes the bees will have a different saying into it. Because you never know what's going to happen in the future. Of course, you need to plan. You need to figure out what you're going to be doing. Hey fellas, I'm just interrupting the video real quick just to tell you, if you are new here, please go on and subscribe with the bell. And I hope if you would go on and smash that thumbs up button, that would help me out and help the video out to get to more audiences. So maybe this video will help somebody out in beekeeping. So go on and click the thumbs up button. Let's get back into the video. But just, keep an eye on that. Look there, you see that? You gotta be careful for that. That's a little comb on the bottom there. We don't want to have that draw. We'll kind of let that go there. And that's just sometimes bees will do that. They'll put a little bit there. Now I'm looking in the comb and I do see some eggs, and that looks nice and good. Now I'm looking, and I've been seeing eggs for the past on these past frames. So I know the queen's been here in the last couple of days, so I know a lot of you guys will really want to find the queen. But just a note, if you see eggs tilting up, or maybe even tilting down, you know she's been there in the past couple of days at least. And hey guys, I got something really cool here. Look at this. This is the first drone I've seen this year. Look at that guy. The big guy with the big eyes. Look at him. Walking on the frame, enjoying his time, and here soon he'll be going on a mating flight. And go on and say hey to the Mr. Drone. If you can see him right there. He's just right there on the frame. He's going to be coming back up. He has the bigger eyes. You can see him right there. Bigger abdomen. He's a little bit more fat than the workers. And that's exciting. The first drone we've seen this year. And some young bees too. And Mr. Drone just doing his thing there. And here soon, before we know it, he's going to be going on his mating flight and mating with future queens. Maybe it'll be my queens. I'll set him at the creek again and see if we can do that. But say hey to Mr. Drone. So we saw a drone, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, I don't know, that might be the only walking drone I have, so. You guys, it's recorded. We have drones in the colony, so isn't that exciting? I'm going to put this frame on the side here. I'm going to check for Queen to make sure she's not on here. I don't want to injure her or anything, but she should be fine even if she is on this frame. It might be even better if she was on this frame, so then I know she's out of the colony. A lot of times that's a good way of doing things. But I don't see her. Either way, I just want to have a little bit more room in the colony to inspect, because it's just kind of crowded. All right. See there. Let's check these bees back in here. Now I'm gonna move this to the side, but I can use that, like I said earlier when I was talking about comb. A lot of this brood has already hatched, of course. So you might be looking at this brood. The brood looks fine, but I see a lot of larvae in there. A lot of these bees already hatched. A lot of that brood that queen laid already hatched. So, and bees are coming in and out. It's a nice day today. High today, 73. A very unbelievable nice day today. It's just. And now here we go, guys. So now we know why over here the queen hasn't been working as much, because look at there. She's been over here working on this frame. So you gotta see, if you keep going, this queen is over here working. So that means she's gonna be slowly coming back over here to work more on these frames. So just give it some time, guys. Don't worry. But look at that frame. That's just pretty. That's pretty brood. This frame is full of eggs and larvae too. It's just pretty. Beautiful brood there. The queen's just been over here. So maybe second thoughts on, later on replacing the queen. We're just going to see how it goes, guys. So you never know. We may or may not replace the queen. I'm just going to keep it on a day-to-day or week-to-week, actually, basis. If we'll replace the queen, we're just going to keep an eye on her. Keep close watch on her, too. Make sure she's healthy enough to keep the colony going. But beautiful frame of brood there. As you can see, look at all those bees. Those are nurse bees tending to the brood, to the larva. And another thing I'm also looking for, and I have videos on a lot of subjects, so you guys make sure to watch all the subjects. And I may be mentioning a few subjects because I've mentioned a whole bunch of them. But one thing I'm always looking for, and I don't see on this frame, of course, and it is trying to make sure we don't see any type of swarm cells. So swarm cells are usually located like on the bottom, on that bar. A lot of times if there's any swarm cells, they like to do them on the bottom, which there is none on here. but that's usually where they like to do it. And there's no swarm cells in here, or swarm cups. Cups have the larvae in it. They're open. You can see them. A lot of times, even if they're open, cups and no eggs, that just means it's just they put them there for an emergency or something if they want to swarm. And a lot of times that's just a preparation for swarming too. So sometimes you'll see that. A lot of times if they have an egg or a larva in it, most times a larva, as long as you see a larva in there, and if you see a lot of them and a queen in this colony, that means they are planning to swarm. If they're a big colony, a robust colony like this hive is. So this hive is strong, and before we know it, with all this brood hatching and more plus more, before we know it, we are going to be in swarm mode. These bees are going to be in swarm mode. And when we're raising queens, that's what we want. We want a colony that's in swarm mode. So this may be a good way to have a starter colony if I'm going to raise queens this year. This might be a good colony to graft from, and be able to start the cells and maybe even finish them. And if I do queen rearing as we're continuing on with our inspection, this probably will be my starter hive and my hive that I graft from. I really like this colony. I really like their genetics. Of course, I'm going to be getting 6 new hives that have different genetics, so we're going to play around with those too and see how I like them. And then in the future, if I like those genetics, you know what I would like to do is, now I don't know yet now, but if I tend to like that genetic that's coming from my my nukes that I'm going to be getting here soon, 6 of them, would it be cool to mix a little bit of this colony's genetics and that colony's genetics? That means maybe graft all the queens from this hive and hopefully get some drones from the other colonies to mate with them. Then you get the mix of genetics. That's just an idea of a genetic pool. And look, whenever of those queens go out to mate, you don't know what drones they go out and mate, so you have no way of telling. But it's just an idea of maybe what you could do. But, oh wow, they have moved all the way over here too. So almost all the frames have only brood in here. That's amazing. And look there, guys. Let's do a little game of find the queen real quick. Now, on this frame, this is a nice frame, a brood. Now I want you guys to try to spot the queen. If you guys are a beekeeper in here, you probably already see her. So this is just so easy. So I'm going to move it a little faster so you guys maybe can see her. Let me know when you see her. Comment in the section below when you see her, which is just so easy. Can you see her yet? Yep, there she is, and it was probably too easily. So maybe one day I'll make it somewhat harder. But there's our queen. She's walking around. She's a big queen too. Look at that queen. I really like the size of that queen. That's a nice queen. And this brood pattern right here, you guys may be saying, oh, that's a bad brood pattern. But look, there's nectar in the middle of it. So it's not entirely a bad brood pattern. I don't think it is at all. If that nectar wasn't there, this frame probably would be full of that brood. Over here, there's a bee and pollen. I mean, she's been out there collecting some pollen. I don't know if you guys can see. I can't. But there's a bee doing a little waggle dance. These bees have been doing a lot of waggle dances lately, which is very interesting to admire. Now, it seems like they're not taking advantage of that little drone comb that I gave them. For some reason, they decided, nah, we don't want to use it. Sometimes bees are like that. Sometimes they don't really want to use it. But they are using it for, there you go, bee. They are using it for nectar, so that's fine. If they want to use it for that instead, I'll let the bees do what they want to do. I'm gonna take care of them, of course, but I always also like to just let the bees do what they want to do. I'm not gonna force them to do anything that they would rather not do. I'll let the bees carry on with what they do, because really, guys, bees are the experts of themselves. They know more of what to do than we do. right? So we've talked about a lot of queen rearing methods, but one way of raising queens that I've talked about before on the channel, i.e. while I'm talking about it, is you can always just let the bees raise the queen cells and then cut them off and do that. Now, if you're just a small operation, that works perfect. But if you're a big operational queen rearer like Chris Werner, and look at this, or one of the other Bob Benny. Oh, let's be careful. Look at this, guys. Look at the drone brood. Drones are here. You see, this is a super frame. And whenever you have a super frame, guys, this is very important too, is they'll draw it out 30 times or 30 inches to deeper, like a deep frame. Look at that brood pattern. That's the regular worker bees. That's just beautiful. And look at that. Look at those drones. Those are nice. Some beautiful drones will come out too and help out with mating. So, look on that side too. Look at that. There's the second drone. Say hey to Mr. Drone 2.0. So that's the second drone we've seen so far. Walking around doing his thing. Big eyes. Big bulky eyes too. And big abdomen. Big thorax. Bigger eyes. Bigger than the worker bees. And just walking around eating honey and waiting to go on a mating flight later on. So that'll be cool. And the second drone we've seen so far in this hive. So that's good. And what I mean by a drone is walking drones. We've only seen 2 walking drones. Including this frame, we've probably seen 200 drones or something like that. But I see some larvae over here of drones too, capped and uncapped. So beautiful. So that's why over here you didn't see as much, because they were over here working on the queen was over here working on these new frames. So the bees are expanding. They were on 5 frames, but they have expanded to, wow, a lot of frames. Now, I think these bar strips are about due, so let's go on and take them out. Set them aside over there, take them out, and throw them away. I'm going to pull this frame out over here. It seems like there's something on it, so we'll see what's on it. Probably just some nectar. But you never know. There might be, since this trim right here, I said there wasn't going to be any, most likely nothing on the second frame. Drones or a worker brood or the queen. Well, I guess we're wrong. But for real, you know, the queen will go anywhere she wants to go. Okay, let's just pick that frame up. This frame feels heavy. And I see on here, there is some drones. Yep, drones. And right when we said, this is why you gotta be careful, guys. There is drone brood on here, so the queen has been here. This is the frame right on the outside. You gotta be careful not to kill anything, but look at that, more drones. Isn't that cool? Have a lot of different drones. Alright, guys. Guess we're done for inspection. But let me go on and talk. I was busy showing you guys in this house. Let's just kind of take away what we saw. Drones. We see some drones in here. Drones. It is drone season. So that means here soon we are going to be able to start raising queens. We probably can already start raising queens if we want to. For some beekeepers who want to do it. I'm not ready for queen rearing yet, so that's why I'm not going to be doing it yet. I might have accidentally smashed the bee there. I'm trying to make sure it didn't. There you go. work slow and steady. No swarming yet, but as I see this colony is could be very likely to try to swarm. So we got to be careful, guys. We got to be really, really careful and proactive. Make sure we can prevent swarming if you want to keep bees in this colony, or if you want to not lose any bees. Now, if you not worried about it, I mean, I guess, you know, it's just your decision. You don't have to prevent it. No, I'm not going to say how to keep your bees or anything. So I think for every beekeeper, just keep the bees the way they want to. But also do be open to hearing other beekeepers' advice. I think that's important too. Being open to hear it. So I think this frame goes right here. Now, one thing I am going to do real quick, I could just put that frame right in there. Oh no. These bees are not liking my foot right when I set it down. I just look at the camera, we've been going about for 30 minutes. Of course, I don't think that's going to be the whole inspection, probably be about 20 minutes, or maybe like 25 minutes or something. I got to be careful, because these bees try to get after my feet. I really don't want that. That's why I wear a full suit. That's why I don't, wear flip-flops out here, because if that happened, my feet probably wouldn't be feeling good right now. Look at that bee, it's trying to get the little thing. But the things we do need to be doing right now, like I've been kind of stating, everything we do, we need to ensure the health of our colony, ensure the health of our queen, inspecting our hives, regularly in spring is good too. Now, I like to inspect in spring every 2 weeks. You can do it once a week. Sometimes I do it once a week. I've been trying to stay on a good, because I used to try to get in my hives almost every 3 days or 2 days, which was terrible. So I got it to a point where I've been busy lately, guys. That's why it's been hard for me to upload videos lately. But I've been able to manage. But what I'm going to be doing is inspecting this hive and all my other hives, for the time being, inspect this hive once a week or every 2 weeks. So if I do it every 2 weeks, I really, for some reason, I find more time to inspect my hives on Wednesday. So today is Wednesday. That's why I'm doing it on Wednesday. I don't know why, but I've just been finding more time doing it that way. Gotta be careful not to do that. I don't want to get stung or anything, but there you go. Now, gotta be careful with this frame. Now, what I did there, guys, and this is another tip to ensure the health of your colony, you could have just, at the moment you're in, could just put this in there and not make any space. Now there's a little bit more of a space in there. Of course, bees are going to rub a little bit. I want to put it back where it kind of was. Of course, I don't think that really matters or anything. But I created more of a space, so then I wouldn't be rubbing these bees as hard as I would have if I never did that. It was more of a rough ride if I never moved that frame out of the way. Or, provide a little bit more of a space when you're doing that, if you're going to be putting it right in the middle. Our queen was over here, so we know the queen wasn't over here. Make sure your queen wasn't over there. Of course, queens can move fast, but they can't move that fast. So we know our queen's over there, so we know our queen wasn't on that frame. If we knew our queen was on that frame last time we saw, don't do it. Because most likely she's still on that same exact frame. And you could say, well, she probably moved, and she could have. But then, after the fact, you'll regret it. So that's why I just take every measure to keep your queen healthy and alive. I think that's the most important thing to do as beekeepers, make sure our queen stays alive. Queen's the most important aspect of our operation, of our beehives. That's how they survive. The queen lays the eggs and keeps the hive going. She's the reason why this hive is still here, because she's laying the eggs. And sometimes people make it seem like the queen doesn't do anything, but she actually does. Of course, yes, every single bee in this colony is important. The queen, the workers, even the drones. The drones mate with the queens, and that's how the queens are able to lay their eggs. So people also make it seem like drones are useless, which they are not. Now, they are kind of useless in winter because they pick up food. That's why bees kick them out. And that's why you see that happen a lot during that period. But and the queen's the one that lays the eggs. And drones are important too, like I was talking about earlier. They make the queens. That's how the queens are able to lay their eggs, i.e., new bees in the colony. So now, as we saw earlier on this, we'll save that, set it aside. Put that on top to cover that hole. That's kind of low or empty too, but we need to replace it. But other than that, we're just going to close up this hive and good inspection. Well, appreciate you guys watching the video. I know it was rather long, but I hope you were able to watch the whole thing. And if you are here watching till the end, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope it was some kind of informative. I hope it was entertaining too. I think it was entertaining a little bit and informative, I believe it was. And there was some good casual updates in there too. So you guys saw a lot of brood, a lot of drones. The hive was looking really, really good. Today is the day after, so it's kind of chilly this morning, but I think it's going to be warming up. But other than that, guys, go on and click the thumbs up button if you haven't already. And go on and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And go on and share this video if you would. I would appreciate it. We'll catch you guys on the next beekeeping video. Take care, everyone.